we're very offended by Nick's jeans.
Oh.
I was rocking up in my Celica, with the mag wheels. I mean, we can see the outline of his penis. In some kind of white supremacist mode. Mate, we've moved on. Comedy only works when it goes there.
I couldn't agree more.
When it's honest to the core.
Well, you've walked into the room like an absolute rock star. Nick, we are so excited to have you. We're going to do a fancy intro. Don't worry about that. But we're so excited to have you here. Thanks for coming.
I'm excited to be here and good luck with cracking on.
Oh, thank you
I'll
so
be a
much.
regular listener, I'm sure. I'll add it to the list.
Thank you. Well, you know what? Your career has just spanned over decades, which is pretty incredible. I want to go all the way back to the beginning and talk about you started your own comedy show, stage show,
Yeah.
Wogs Out of Work.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Was that because you were a wog out of work at the time? Is that why you started it?
I'll
or-
give you the short version.
Okay.
So basically, I went to VCA, Victorian College of the Arts. Before that, I went to another school called Rusden State College. I left that after second year. Actually, I got kicked out, but that's a whole different story. Very
wanna know.
disruptive. I learned a lot of film there at Rusden, but it was a wondrful experience for me because the film classes I had were with established Australian directors. And in the space of 2 years, I made my own 16mm films. And of course, that came into play later on in my career. So I was very lucky. The drama course was, well, the reason I got kicked out, it was, I'm going to put this in a nice way, it was very wanky.
Yes.
Very, very wanky,
Nothing's changed.
Yeah. So anyway, they did me a favour. They kicked me out. 83, I get into the VCA. And the exciting thing for me, I didn't know at the time, but I realised later, I was the first person with a Greek background to be accepted.
The first ever.
First.
Wow.
I didn't know it at the time. And I soon found out why that was the case because I was surrounded by quite privileged private school kids
Yeah.
Wow.
who, of course, I had never really had a lot to do with. I grew up in Richmond in a milk bar in a very working class area. I went to Richmond High. So it was a whole different world for me. It took me a while to settle in. I mean, I was rocking up in my Celica, with the mag wheels. I had my tight red corduroy pants on. I was a wog from Richmond. That's what I was. So my teachers were pretty cool, but I remember one day about 2 months in, we had this truth session, they called it, where we all had to sit around. You do this at drama school. Like I said, it's a bit wanky. And everyone had to tell a truth about what they thought about the other person.
Oh, no.
Well, I was going, what's this going to be like? Well, let me tell you. I didn't realise my tight jeans had offended so many of the women.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like, we're very offended by Nick's jeans.
Oh.
I mean, we can see the outline of his penis. Now, that wasn't my intention, hand on heart. It's just the way we dressed.
Yeah.
Wog Boys in the 80s, that's how we dressed. Everything was tight. I don't know. I just followed everybody else. I mean, I guess we were all trying to look like Travolta. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, after, Saturday Night Fever, everything got tight, Everything got tight. So we just got tight with it. And I was like, so this was a real revelation for me. So 2 weeks after that, whole change. Baggy jeans. So I was watching them going, I've got to look more like them.
That's sad.
Baggy
That's so
jeans. I changed my whole look, I cut my hair short.
Oh.
And, all of a sudden everyone was cool, So the wogginess about me, I had to completely get rid of. So that was the only way I was going to survive 3 years at the VCA. The best thing they taught me at the VCA were performance-making skills. And Roger Hodgman, who was the dean at the time, who's a very well-respected Australian theatre director, said to me, Nick, we think you have enormous talent and ability, but we need you to get in touch with your vulnerability a lot more. Mm-hmm. So they got me in second year at VCA to play a woman.
Right.
Oh, is that where...
A play with, so that touched into my femininity. And, it was a real eye-opener for me to dress up with the wigs and the dresses and to not be a male anymore. And what they did for me was exactly what I needed. They showed me a whole different side to myself.
Yeah.
That, of course, my Greek culture had kept, because to be a Greek man, there was a way to be a Greek man. And so the best thing VCA did for me was it stripped all that away.
Yeah,
It
cool.
stripped me bare and they built me back up again. So I learned so much. I come out of VCA, I graduate 85. I spend 86. I can't get a job. I'm sitting there unemployed. I've got to become friends with Simon. Simon has had some experience in comedy with the Tabordi brothers. Him and George have been doing it for 2 years. And he came up to me and said, listen, the Melbourne Comedy Festival's starting. We should do something. And you don't realise it at the time, but in the years to come, it was the light bulb moment. It was the light bulb moment. It was that moment where everything I'd been working towards, everything I was confused about suddenly became very clear. Well, this guy knew that there were communities of people throughout Melbourne that looked like me, spoke like me, and had nothing on that was about them.
Yeah.
Their experience, their culture, their subcultures, their way of laughing at each other. The way I'd grown up at Richmond High. The combination of the skills I learned at VCA, the inaugural Melbourne Comedy Festival, and just that incredible energy. So do you know what came out of that festival? Just about every successful comedian in Australia over the last 30, 40 years. So I go away, I write all these skits, Simon does his stuff, we come together, we create the show Wogs Out of Work. We go on to the Universal Theatre 2, which had 50 seats. And, the first night we had all the Melbourne Comedy Festival committee people come in. Not a lot of laughs, respect.
That's exactly how they laughed too.
They weren't wogs. The second night, all of a sudden, Victoria Street, Fitzroy, as I'm sitting in my dressing room, I hear the V8 engines. I hear the car horns. Then I hear the arguments. What, just there's no parking here, eh? No, what the, we gotta park. Oh, wow. I know those people. They're the people from my hood.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the wogs are here. You know what? They probably, a lot of them, as I came to understand down the track, had never been to a theatre before. I know that because the lady at the box office told us, all the people who want to see the show are ringing up and asking us what time the show's screening. And we have to explain to them that it's a live show, it's not a film. I said, yeah, no, they know that. It's just they don't understand what to say. That's all. It's the first time they've been to the theatre. So, oh, I see. So these people, that's how they referred. I'm telling you. It was a different time. So these people don't go to theatre? I said, probably not, no. They've never really had anything they wanted to see. Right. And the other thing they're doing is they're booking in these really big groups.
Oh.
I said, oh, yeah, what do you mean? She goes, oh, they'll ring up and say, we want 40 tickets. Well, we only seat 40 people. And I explained that to them and they don't understand. I said, yeah, well, 40 people is about 2 families.
Seriously.
Right. You know what I mean? So the box office staff are being educated. Now, obviously we sell that season out. Mm-hmm. The Comedy Festival ends. We end up being one of the great success stories alongside many other great shows. Here's the wonderful thing. Greg Hockey and Tim Woods, being smart producers, come up to us and go, you know what? Why don't we extend this beyond the Comedy Festival? First thing they did is they put us in the bigger Universal Theatre, which was 400 seats. We sell that out.
Wow.
Then they move us they also had the lease to the Athenaeum Theatre in Collins Street, Melbourne. Greg Hockey came up with the greatest idea. He said, we're going to take this to the Opera House. I'd never seen the Opera House. I'd never been to that part of Sydney.
Yeah.
We go there, we put this massive billboard, Wogs Out of Work, on the concourse.
Oh.
Right? Well, I said, I'm taking photos of it, for my mum and dad. This is like, I cannot believe what's going on. Wow. Little did we know that the Opera House Trust took great offence.
Oh, of course they did.
So they contacted us and said, we can't let your show go ahead.
No.
So I'm shattered. I'm like, oh, geez, I really wanted to play the Opera House.
Oh.
Rick Hocking says, no, let's take them on. He said, let's do a story with a current affair.
Oh, this is how that started.
He said, all what you guys do, talk, tell them what the show's about, tell them why you created it. So we got a current affair, who at the time was hosted by a guy called Terry Willisey. Actually, it wasn't current affair, apologies. It was Terry Willisey tonight, something on Channel. It was on Channel 7, I can't remember. The switchboard lights up. Oh. Wogs from all over the country. I go, yeah, mate, we call ourselves Wogs. What's your problem? I mean, telling us that we can't call ourselves Wogs when you're the ones that called us Wogs in the first place?
Yeah.
This is brilliant. This is
This
amazing.
goes nuts. Papers.
Goosebumps. I think this is so cool.
The guy who was at the time the head of the Australian Immigration Department said, I call myself a wog at work. So, wow. Before you know it, decision reversed.
Ooh.
We open up the Opera House. The wogs invade the concourse. They're trying to park their Monaros and their Valiants on the concourse.
Now, I would love to talk to you about transitioning from stage to screen, because then you co-wrote and created Acropolis Now,
Yeah.
which was a very successful TV sitcom.
Yeah.
5 seasons.
Yeah.
And a
it
sitcom
was.
in Australia.
They weren't really happening, or they weren't.
Well-
There was nothing really that was cutting edge, right?
Yeah. Thing is, since I was a young kid, I've been obsessed with entertainment. People ask me, what does it take to be successful as a performer? And I've come to realise that the word is obsession. You've got to be obsessed.
Yeah.
You've got to be obsessed with it. Whatever it is you want to do, you have to become obsessed with it. And you have to be able to devote yourself to it and make the sacrifices that are required. In fact, you know what? A funny thing. When I was 14, I started subscribing to Variety magazine in America.
Wow.
I just thought I need to read this. I would read everything. I didn't even understand most of the stuff I was reading, but I just wanted to understand what this business was.
Sure.
Instinctive. I mean, I'd work in my dad's milk bar and then I'd go and read my Variety. That's what I did. I was obsessed with it. At primary school, I put on a play and I charged kids 20 cents to come and see it.
That's brilliant. So you've
Yeah.
always been a bit of a hustler.
Yeah.
Always. And the guy
Always
wrote
been
it
a bit
with,
of a tight ass. Give me some money for it.
it's like, from a very young age, you start to realise what it is that you love and want to do with your life. You really do. And, I was charging kids in grade 4. And that play, I wrote it with a guy called Christian Sosiadis, who would come on to write Wog Boy with me in Acropolis Now.
Wow.
That's cool.
So it's also the relationships you make with people as you're coming up. Also, that year I spent out of work in 86, I also realised that if I didn't do stuff for myself, I wasn't going to succeed. I wasn't going to survive in this industry. It became very obvious to me, because, every audition I went to, they weren't interested. So Wogs Out of Work was a show that found an audience. And I say to people, find that niche. Just find that. There's always a little niche somewhere. There's something someone hasn't thought about. There's a little pocket or a hole somewhere that you can fill. Try and find that. Try and find
Yeah.
that. And then zoom in. So, and this is where you need a little bit of luck in your career. Everyone needs a little bit of luck. I say this to people and they don't believe me. So, we go to Crawford's, which was in Box Hill at the time. Never been to Box Hill in my life. This massive, massive complex. We go into this room lined up with Logies. There's Logies. I've never seen so many Logies.
Good sign.
So many Logies. And there's a silver-haired guy called Hector Crawford, the most powerful man in television. And it spoke like this too. A really croaky voice like that. And this is how he opened. He said, I came to see the show, the Athenaeum Theatre the other night. I didn't understand a word of it, but I bloody loved it.
Oh.
What a
And we
compliment.
want to be in the business we want to get in the business with you boys.
Yeah, good on them.
And I'll go, all right, mate, no worries. So what do you boys want to do? I look around and I just go, how about a sitcom? Yeah, that's good. Sitcoms are good. Live audience? Yeah, live audience. And the guys are looking at me. I'm looking at the guys. I'm going, just come with me. Roll with me. Right?
Yeah.
And then, then Simon added a bit more. Then George added some more. And it impressed them enough to tell us to go off and write a pilot. Oh, what?
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't open my mouth and say, I don't know any pilots. Thank God. That could have happened.
Yeah.
I was on the verge. But luckily, I walked out of the room and I went, I know what that is. I've seen it in Variety.
Yeah.
That's the first episode. So then we did a pilot. They liked the pilot. They got some terrific writers to work with us. And the wonderful thing was we could hear where the laughs were, right?
Yeah.
So we got better at writing because we had that immediate feedback. The producers said, we need something. And we look at each other and we know exactly what that something was. We were working with Mary Custis in Wogs Out of Work.
Mm-hmm.
She had created this character called Sophie. We said, yeah, we got the right person. We know what we ought to do. And I said, yeah, she could be my cousin and we'll name her Effie.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
So we say this to Mary. Mary goes, yeah, I could do that.
Same voice.
They all sound the same.
But being, that time, they made her audition.
Against
Poor
who?
Mary had to audition for Effie. Can you believe this?
Against
That's
other
ridiculous.
actors or just...
So I'm like, Mary, listen, don't worry about it. We're all behind you. We'll make sure you get it. First time she walks on with the hair, with the outfit, with the accent, it goes nuts. And we had found our Fonzie, right?
Yes.
Because having watched as much Happy Days as I had, I knew, and all of us had, we knew we needed that one element that was larger than life, that basically people wanted to tune in for every week, right? So we were the support and, all the characters worked in their own way, but we needed that rocket. We needed that boom.
Yeah.
And she was it. And we knew she was it.
Mary's brilliant.
She is
brilliant.
She's brilliant. And she saved the commerce completely died off.
Well, that's what we were thinking. Because we were looking it up and researching it. And I was just like, I said to Sarah yesterday, I was just like, I can't think of an Australian sitcom.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of it. We're just not very good at it. Do you know what actually, I would be curious to know your thoughts actually, because I think Australian television is too scared of comedy. I think that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I think they get too scared.
They have. They
and
have
if-
got very scared.
Yeah.
I did a pilot with Rebel Wilson called Get Nicked in 05, which was very good. Ted Embry directed it, who was doing Kath and Kim. And, they were telling me stuff like, we don't really like her. And I said, you don't like her, Rebel?
Really?
Let me be really blunt and to the point. TV got to the point where it was being run by ad sales executives
Sure.
who didn't want to rock the boat. So here I am in 05, having had a successful comedy, and this not being in front of an audience, and nevertheless they were scared witless. With an enormous talent like Rebel Wilson, who went on to become a global superstar, which I told them would happen. Unfortunately, these sales agents at the time didn't understand how creativity works.
Mm-hmm.
You got to take risks. When you stop taking risks and you start playing it safe,
Yeah.
that's what kills comedy. And people that, then of course we had the political elements of it, the cancel culture and wokeness that started to take effect 10 years after that. We were slowly, and I have no issue with any of that, except it was becoming more and more difficult for comedy to find its place within all that, because comedy only works when it goes there,
Yeah, that's right. I couldn't agree more.
when it's honest to the core. Because, what we did with our stage shows, with my stage shows, because after Wogs Out of Work, I did so many other shows. I did Wogorama, Wog Boys. I continued. And with every show that I wrote, after Wogs Out of Work, I was the only writer, my main aim was to always hold up that mirror to the audience and reflect back to them the way they spoke, the way they looked, the way they acted, the way they thought about stuff, right? Because for me, trying to send the message never works. You got to sugar pill it. You got to sweeten it up, right? So if you want to talk about racism, the way I found it best to talk about racism was through comedy. You can make your point with comedy a lot better than you can with any other device. And I learned that. And I put all of that into the Wog Boy. Okay? So all that stuff I learned through the 90s, through all those shows, in front of all those audiences, I'd had so much experience listening to people and what they liked and didn't like. I had the best data available, people. And I put all of that into the Wog Boy, a film that nobody wanted to finance. Everything I've ever done, sadly, I've had to fight for. I've had to put my own money into it. With Wog Boy, I risked my house. Everything I'd made through the stage shows, I put it into Wog Boy. The only investors in Wog Boy ended up being me and the FFC. Katrina Hughes, who was the head of the FFC at the time, saw something in me that she really liked. And I was so lucky. Because without her being able to just say no to everyone and give me the other half of the money, Wog Boy would never have been made. Incredibly enough, with all that stage success, amazing success with all those shows over a period of 13 years, 14 years, they still couldn't come to understand that there was an audience for a film like this. Even though I'd created Wogs Out of Work, Wog Boys, they still had issues with me having a film called The Wog Boy.
Why?
Yeah.
You know what? The same reasons why throughout history there's been people saying no to things that went on to become incredible. Because no one knows anything. Because, William Goldman, the great screenwriter, once said, and it's still quoted all the time, nobody knows anything. But what I knew is what I was hearing every night on stage with the audience. I could hear what they liked. I could see the ticket sales. I knew I could open this film. And I kept saying, no, we're going to open at number 1. And they'd be looking at me going, how up himself is this guy? And this is what you had to do. Guess what happened? After all that, incredible angst and pressure, and we made the film, we released the film, and on its opening weekend, it broke Crocodile Dundee's opening weekend record.
That's right. I remember.
And that was an iconic moment because for the Aussies, Dundee was their, you got to understand, white Australia, Dundee, oh yeah, mate, Crocodile Dundee, yeah, mate.
That's my family.
mate, best film ever. I get it. I mean, the Castle had done well, don't get me wrong. The Castle previously had broken, but again, white Anglo, suburban, great film, did well, but not as well as Wog Boy. Not as well as Wog Boy. What Wog Boy did in that opening weekend became front page news around the country. It was a cultural, iconic moment. And every person to be called a wog in this country, whoever felt like they weren't somehow part of this Australian cultural community, just went, yeah.
Yeah.
So that film was a celebration to say, hey, we're here, we're kids of immigrants, and our story is this story. And it's not the Dundee story, and that's okay. Don't be scared. It's all right. And you know what? How relevant is that now?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why I'm a believer, and that's why I'm a strong supporter of immigration and the continuation of immigration, not just to this country, all over the Western countries in the world, because what immigrants do, and I've seen this firsthand, obviously, what immigration does is it always makes a country feel young, and it always creates inspiring stories and success. Because the people who chose to come, whether it's America or Australia, they had something to offer. They left countries that couldn't support them anymore, that didn't know how to provide for them anymore. Of course, a lot of this because of World War II. And they went to countries all over the world, whether it was America, UK, Germany, Australia, wherever it was, Canada. And what they created were things like the Wog Boy,
Yeah.
Things that just lifted the society, lifted the community to a better place. The people who migrated to Australia helped build this country. My uncle worked on the Snowy River Mountain Scheme, My dad worked in the Holden factories making Monaros. They're the ones who created the Australia we have come to know. They're the ones who believed in this country, believed in the whole notion of why they came here, and came here to create a better life for themselves, for their kids, and in turn, make this a better country. And tell me if that hasn't happened. Has that happened?
Absolutely.
So people stuck anywhere in the world right now, those people who are still stuck in some kind of white supremacist mode, mate, we've moved on. The world's moved on. The world ain't like that anymore.
That's
my mother in Reservoir, Melbourne. Now, Reservoir was a very white, middle-class Australian suburb filled with these little white, picket fence houses, yeah? And they were probably the first Greeks in that neighbourhood, But the Greeks and Italians started arriving, building their lions, the concrete lions and the brick veneer and the columns. They all started appearing, whether it was Lalor, Epping, Reservoir. They just started sprouting up, and the Aussies are like, oh, what's going on here? But you know what? They became friends. They learned how to live with each other. In fact, They would come round to my mum's house and ask for lemons off her tree.
Aw.
My dad would give them tomatoes, and they would really love that because they'd saved them so much money, you know. They would see how my dad grew the tomatoes. My dad would give them tips on grow, you know, because this is the life they'd come from. My dad would grow great. My dad grew everything, you know. All the wogs grow. When you come from a wog family, you don't need to go to a market. You don't need to go to a supermarket. Everything is there. These days, reservoir is not that anymore.
Yeah.
Those white houses have gone. They've been replaced by units. Population's been growing. My mother's neighbourhood now, she's probably the oldest resident on her street. You have got, and I kid you not, Kenyan family here, Indian family across the road, a gay male couple next door. You've got Southeast Asian. It is a microcosm of what Australia is.
Like a melting pot.
And my mum loves it. She gets on with all of them. She's learned how to, you know, what Indian food is all about. The lady next door showed her how to cook fried rice in a wok. She still gives them all lemons and tomatoes. And you know what? They all get along.
That's right.
And that ability to learn from each other's cultures, and to respect each other's cultures. You know, if anyone wants to see what the world is really like, go to my mum's street in Reservoir. You know, that is the real world.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing they've all taken on, that Australian ethos. That we came here, we're all here exactly the same reasons the U-Patroller, that's my mum's name, came here. To make a better life for ourselves and our families, and to just, you know, become Aussies. That's what they want. Now, people are going to say, they're going to look at this, oh yeah, mate, but you know, not all of them. Yeah, sure, mate. Yeah, we know. There's always an element in every society. You know, an element of criminality, an element of whatever it is. You're not going to get rid of that, mate. That's not just Australia. That's just not immigrants. That's just the world. And if you want to go into reasons for that, well, geez, we'll be here for a few days.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit complicated, yeah?
Totally.
But does immigration work? Yes. Has it worked in Australia? Yes. Have we come a long way since Wogs Out of Work? I'd say yes, we have. Since Wog Boy? Sure. But you need those stepping stones. And if you asked me what I was proudest of in my own small way, was I'm really happy that I didn't give in. I didn't give up. And I persisted because, you know, and I think this is why comedy eventually succeeds. In your heart of hearts, you have to have a good reason to do what you do. And people say, is that political? And I say, yes, it is political. Because we're all political animals. You have to understand what you believe in and what you stand for. Because whatever you do, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a film, stage show, people will see that. And people need to see that. People need to understand who you are and what you're about. Never stop fighting for what you believe in.
Yeah.
Oh,
no, you go.
Sam.
Go.
No, you go,
Over
Sam.
to you girls.
Well, I just wanted to say that gave me goosebumps before when you were talking about how proud you are of yourself for all of the work that you've done.
Let's not make me look too big-headed.
Well, no, Nick, because I was thinking about your dad, Leo, and hope you don't mind me bringing him.
Go ahead.
I want to bring him
if
up.
If I tear up, excuse me.
Well, no, I mean, that's what a lot of people do on our show.
Yeah.
But yeah, he would be so proud of you. And I know that I came on to do Wog Boys 3 with you just after he passed away and you dedicated that film to him.
Yeah.
I would love to know more about your dad.
Yeah.
I guess what we talk about on this podcast is rejection and redirection and low points in your life and how you grew and rose up through that. And Sammy and I have both lost people that are dear to us, as you know.
Yeah.
And you might have another story that you want to share with us, but I know how important your dad was to you, and I also can feel how proud he would have been of your work and knocking down that door and letting all of us in behind you.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting, you know. I've learned to appreciate, I mean, I always appreciated my dad, I always loved him. But it wasn't until he passed that it started to resonate with me, the enormous effect he had on me and how much he actually contributed to everything I did. Because I grew up in a working class family. Literally, I slept on top of the milk bar. I watched my dad and mum work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Now, I say 365 days because they worked on Christmas Day as well. The milk bar was open every day of the year. I mean, the toil they went through in those really difficult years, the racism they put up with when they first arrived, which continued. I mean, I watched people calling my dad a wog in my milk bar when I was 5, 6 years old. Things that at the time I didn't realise had resonated as loudly as they had with me. So when you talk about the inspiration for everything I've done, it's probably my dad and mum. And I hope that in some small way, through the influence of my dad and mum and everything I went on to do, has opened the door for people who look like me or, you know, look like something else, whatever that is. I hope that all those shows, whether it's Acropolis now, Wogs Out of Work, the Wog Boys films, the stage, just open that door a little bit wider and allow that inclusivity. I think it has. I think we're
absolutely.
a lot better. Yeah.
Well, I was saying.
I'm not saying I'm singularly responsible.
Yeah.
But everything, you know, everything makes a difference. Everything you do, everything you say makes a difference. At the start of my career, I was like, I'd go on these shows and go, well, we got Nick Giannopoulos in the studio. G'day, mate. And I think, oh, no, it's actually Giannopoulos. Yeah, that's what I said, mate. Giannopoulos. And I was like, hey, mate, that name that you just made fun of goes back like maybe to ancient times, yeah? And the translation is son of John, as in the Anglo name Johnson. Yanni is John in Greek. Opoulos is son of. So it basically means son of John. Yeah? Giannopoulos, son of John. Johnson. If I was an Anglo like you, I'd be Nick Johnson. This is what he did. He went, you all right, Nick Giannopoulos?
Oh.
Yeah. So I went, okay, there's going to be that 1% of the general public you're just never going to get through to. You're never going to change. And to this day, occasionally, and not that often anymore, I still get someone coming up to me either doing the name thing or doing this one. And I can't say this word on your podcast. Can I use the C word on your podcast?
I think you can. We can put a little crack. We can put a crack sound effect over the top or something.
I'm sorry. I'll simply go, hey, you funny wog. Now, in Australia, I've come to understand that the C word
He's like, mate.
is like a compliment of sorts. But when they put it with the wog thing and kind of like with the history I've had with that word, yeah, and being confronted with it in a kind of comic, aggressive sort of way and in my face, I don't take well to it. I don't take well to those two words being put together in my face. But I have to laugh it off. I've learned over the years to just laugh. And to this day, I still have to laugh it off. Because what am I going to do? Stand there for an hour and explain to this guy how, you know, he said, but then, mate, that's what you are. You're the Wog Boy, aren't you? Yeah, but that doesn't really mean that you can, yeah, mate, got it, no problem. You know what I mean? How are you going to use logic? You get what I'm saying? On a person like that. You have to take it, deal with it in your own way, and then you've got to move on as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. But it's a lot better than it used to be. When I first started in the late 80s, oh boy, there was a lot of that stuff going around. And openly and aggressively in your face. And people who are from my generation, probably watching this now, will be nodding their heads going, yeah, mate, that's right.
It's true, though. You've made waves. You've made waves, Nick.
But see how I even covered that with comedy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we had to learn how to do. Because if we didn't have the ability to do what I just did, well, then the opposite of that is not good. It's aggression, violence, prison, who knows. And sadly, a lot of the guys I grew up with, not a lot, but a few of them went in that direction. Yeah? Because that's what that stuff does. Thank God somehow, and I think it was my dad, because I used to watch my dad do it in the milk bar. People come and call him a wog in the milk bar and he'd joke about it and throw it back in their face. And he'd say, yeah, I'm a wog, mate, I'm a proud wog. And I watched my dad do that. So my dad taught me how to do that. Because my dad, pretty much from the moment he stepped into this country off that boat as an immigrant, learned how to survive, learned what it would take, and that was passed on to me. The good news is, going 2-3 generations down, hopefully those kids don't have to do it anymore. Yep. We took the arrows, we took all of that, so hopefully they don't. I hope to God that's the case.
Yeah, my girlfriends, and well, actually a lot of my friends, when I said that I was interviewing you, all of them think that you're you are a legend because, you know, they're Italian, Armenian, Maltese. They're all just like, oh yeah, Nick Giannopoulos. Oh, he's a legend. They don't talk like that.
In that voice.
I can't do
accent.
impersonations of people.
You know, I still go out, you know. I mean, I don't... Sarah, you know this. I go out. The wonderful thing about that is I have people approach me all the time and I hear it, you know, instead of reading, I hear it and I see it. And what I love about it is they've all got a little story to tell me about their connection to something I've done. I've had so many examples, you know, and I'm talking about people from such an incredible variety of backgrounds who've all had some sort of connection to something I've done. And that kind of makes you feel, okay, I've made a difference somehow, in some small way.
Absolutely.
And it's a good thing. It's a great feeling to have lived a life and to have had a career where somehow, even in some small way, you made a difference in someone's life. Comedy has never had a greater role to play than right now. In a time and era where people are trying to silence comedians, I've been very happy to see that in the past few years, the comedians have got louder.
Yes.
And more in your face. And that's how it has to be. From ancient Greek times, when ancient Greeks wrote those amazing plays that were criticising the governments of the day, that's where it started. And that's our job. I believe in comedians and comedy and artists more so now than I ever have since I first started. And I'm seeing the ramifications of what these people are doing right now across the world.
Yeah.
And it's important now that all of us continue to stand up for what's right.
So do you feel like now after your like huge body of work that you feel like you belong now? And is there anything that you want to do next? Or are you kind of feeling at peace with everything that...
I'm very at peace. I feel like, you know, I think that you get to a stage in your life where you become a mentor. And podcasts like this help. And people watch them, and podcasts are wonderful because you have the opportunity and the time to you know, it's not like breakfast radio where you got 2 minutes and then you're out. Yeah.
All right, tell me a little bit about
Sam,
this.
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, seriously.
So this is great. Podcasts are going to have succeeded for this reason. And look, I hope that something I've said today has inspired someone.
Oh, yeah.
And made someone go, yeah, because I think that's, you know, that's certainly what my mentors did for me. But also because I've worked so much, there's so much I personally have sacrificed. So that's dawned on me since my father passed.
It's actually been really refreshing because I constantly, like, I'm quite a nostalgic person and I am always daydreaming of the days when you had, you know, your home phones and the telly. And so it's actually nice. I mean, I'm in a very privileged position where social media has helped me out, be able to stay home with my boys financially. So I'm like, oh, that's I feel an enormous privilege to do that. But at the same time, you're like letting in all like the critics and you can't escape it. You know, you used to, just from talking to people, old performers, you would get the review in the paper and like that is either like bad or good, but now you're letting in all these noises as well. So I guess there's pros and cons to both, but I guess it's refreshing to see your perspective of being like, that's exciting and a new way to look at it, I guess.
The last few stage shows I did, I had a social media. I've now got a social media following. For the first time, I basically just sold tickets through those networks.
Yeah, right. Okay.
The wonderful thing for me was that I could stop doing all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I could just focus on the fans, because the shotgun effect of the old days of just, you know, firing off a bunch of pallets and hoping some of them stick, you know, which we used to do with the late night ads. Now you know that everyone who follows you is a fan.
Yeah, that's true.
But the other thing you have to learn to deal with is the comments.
Do you read them?
I have to. I don't have an agent. It's really tough.
Yeah.
Because some people don't hold back. So what I didn't do for a long time was learn where the block button was.
Oh, yeah, that's my favourite button.
There you go. The greatest thing ever invented is the block button.
Good on you guys.
Don't you wish that in everyday life we had a block button?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. How good would that be? What was that, mate? Yeah, blocked.
Yeah, totally.
If so once I discovered the block button, life became a lot better.
Yeah.
Because then, the people who stayed with me, who are still there, well, they were good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
They're
kind of
chillers.
got me and they were cool and, they'd have the little odd thing here and there, but not a lot. 90% of the people who follow you only have positive things to say. But it's amazing how, this is the other thing I realised, that 5% who have negative, they're the ones that trigger you.
Oh, yeah. They
You
really-
ignore the 95, they go, no,
Get
you're
in
amazing,
there.
you're the best. But it's that 5% that, yeah. And that's the one that sticks in your head.
I know.
So this is what I learned to do. So, that's negative. Block. So I said, okay, if it goes to this or that, that's a block. So I created categories. Yeah?
Oh, that's good.
I had, no, that's a no-brainer. That's a block. Like a very overtly racist remark, like things that, were totally uncalled for. So I started thinking about it this way. What's something that in public you'd feel comfortable saying? And what is it something in public that you would say that deserves to be, not be said?
Yeah.
And that was it. That's how so if they said something I thought was totally inappropriate in a one-on-one public, block.
Yeah, great.
Block. Look, there are a lot of blocks at first, but you'll find that over time, it gets better.
Yeah, that's good.
Block, 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 block.
Yeah.
Maybe you can answer me this question. Should I or should I not block this person on my Instagram?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So have a look at my toes.
You got great feet.
Oh, thanks.
They're really
Thanks.
pretty.
Thanks, Sammy.
All the foot fetish people going, oh,
Well,
yeah.
this is what it is, guys. There's someone on my Instagram that always comments on my photos. It could just be like a tiny bit of my foot showing. Oh, you have suckable toes. Oh, I love your feet. Delicious.
Well, you know who's going to be watching the YouTube video of this? That guy.
Not really, because he's going to get blocked.
Yes.
So is that a block?
Yeah,
Or-
it's a block.
Okay.
That's
yeah.
a block. Look, so again, if you're out in public, all right, and someone came up to you
Yeah.
and said, Sarah, I've just seen your feet and I really like you suck your toes, what would you do?
I would want to go block onto
Yes.
their forehead.
You wouldn't tolerate it.
I would. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't tolerate it. No, I would
Look,
say that's strange behaviour, mate.
That's like crossing the line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going into an area which isn't what your platform's about.
Yeah.
Mind you, if you're on OnlyFans,
Yeah.
You can make a bit of cash.
and I've got nothing against OnlyFans, but I'm just saying, yeah,
Yeah.
there are platforms for that sort of thing. But I don't think that's your...
No, having an OnlyFans account for my toes isn't really my.
Yes.
Well, if cash gets tight, there's always an
There's
avenue.
always that.
There's always that guy who'll probably
Yes.
pay money.
It
I
does.
don't think, yes, I think that's a block.
Yeah, it does crack me up though. Like,
Did you say, Sam, did you say block?
Oh, 100%
Yeah,
blocked.
that's
okay, block.
Yeah,
a definite
totally.
block. Any others?
Well, okay. Well, do you have something? I mean, we ask everyone on our show if there's something that cracks them up. Do you have something like that
Cracks me up.
Yeah, with
Laughing.
laughter, like because you crack
what
everybody.
makes me laugh?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
crack
what makes
everybody else up. So what we want to know what cracks you up.
I always, my gauge is usually like when something.
Give me some examples.
When something's really funny, I'm like this.
Yeah.
Like if you get the foot stomp out of me,
Yeah.
that you've done really
Yeah.
well.
I guess comedians or performers who say something that resonates with me about a habit or something I do that I thought nobody nobody else in the world knew about.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, yeah. That's what triggers me, you know. They'll say, and it's offhand. It's like, and I'm like, I thought I was the only one. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, that humour is very funny.
Yeah, the thing that where I realise I'm not the only one.
Yes.
You reveal something about something, people, yeah, that's me, mate. I'm the same.
Yeah.
I think we all had that, yeah?
Yes, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
why like we do reels, like fan meme reels.
Yes.
And so like if you get a reel that like relates to you, like and I guess this is another good thing about social media as well. Like some people are funny and clever. And you just
Yes,
think,
very
how
clever.
did you even think of that? That
Correct.
is so funny. And so I like internet reels. They make me laugh a lot.
Yeah.
And good comedians are so great.
You know, little weird things make you know, it's like, I'd love to say cat videos make me laugh, but, you know, there's been a few that have made me laugh.
Really? I wouldn't have. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
look,
have.
you know, animals do funny things.
On our show, we tell people's future. We, because our podcast is called Cracking On.
Yeah.
So we get you to choose a fortune cookie out of
It's
the
a good
bowl.
segue, isn't it?
It is a good segue.
That's part of the show. Well done.
Yeah.
Do you want
Well
to
done,
pass
Sarah.
that around?
Yes.
And
So I pick a cookie?
Yeah, pick a cookie. You got to
and then
crack
read
it
out.
And now
crack it
crack
open, and then
I'll
it's going to
crack it on.
tell you your future.
And that's how.
They all got the same message? Is that the trick? All right. Do I read it now?
Yeah,
Got a bit of
absolutely.
a cookie on the floor, sorry. You are in good hands tonight.
Oh, this is excellent for my little thing that I do. So now, do you want to explain?
No, you do it. You do it.
Okay, so sometimes you have to read that out with "in bed" at the end of it.
You're in good hands tonight in bed.
See? Did it work, guys?
I live alone.
Well, you never know what's around the
and
corner,
I'm single.
Nick.
Are you telling me between the time of finishing this podcast and getting to bed tonight? Well, let me tell you, I like this fortune cookie, and I hope it's right.
If you crack on with life, you never know what's going to happen, hey?
Yeah.
Hey,
one, Sarah.
Interesting. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome.
That's definitely not something I thought we'd be discussing in this podcast today,
We discussed a lot,
but I
didn't we?
love it.
We just want to say thank you so much for coming onto our podcast today. You
Sure,
have
sorry
been-
for crapping on.
No, you're amazing.
Call the podcast Crapping On.
No.
Call my episode Crapping On.
Maybe just your hair.
Yeah, just my Nick Giannopoulos craps on.
No, you were amazing.
Because by the time they get to the end of this, that's how they'll be feeling. Mate, that guy would not stop talking.
Okay, that's a crack up moment for me because my cheeks are sore and my tummy's sore from laughing at you just said we're not calling it crapping on with Nick Giannopoulos.
Hey guys, I love the chat. Thank you very much. I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you. It's been wonderful to chat to you.
Thanks.